When everybody hates it, we think it's okay. When everybody likes it, we gotta complain. We're quite contrary.
Number 3.
I'm just gonna try to ruin every take. Thank you, and welcome to Quite Contrary, the only show that's mathematically designed to disagree with you. Point! Never once. You said it last time. And you didn't
Still
get it.
late, yeah.
I had to put in Jeremy's cut. I'm Zach Nanimus.
Jonnydem.
So Guardians of the Galaxy came out last weekend, and overall, people have really been enjoying it. So here's what sucks about it. Number 1.
No.
Mantis was ruined. Mantis is my favorite Guardian. She's actually a support character for Guardians of the Galaxy in the comic books. And my favorite thing about her, one of the things that I really like in any superhero, is not having an advantage. And Mantis, in the comic books, at least the way she started, this has probably been retconned and changed, or another dimension has come into play to make her maybe more like what we expect her to be like. But originally, she was a martial arts character who was able... What?
I'm calming you down.
She was a martial arts character who routinely fought alongside the likes of Drax the Destroyer, Groot, Rocket Raccoon, and her one ability was that she had some martial arts training. And through that martial arts training, she could intuit the weak point of almost anything and punch it, taking it down with one strike. That was her only ability. She was just good at what she did. And in the movie, they had to make her from another planet, and she's got little dealy bobs on her head, which she has in the comics sometimes. I'm over it. They gave her powers where she could touch people and calm them down, or make them sleep, or get Bill O'Reilly his show back. It feels a little bit like they needed a specific kind of character, an empath for the movie, but they also wanted a little brand recognition, maybe a little nerd street cred. Like, oh, look, we're drumming up this obscure character. Remember that, nerds?
So taking away the core of the character and tacking all this other stuff on is like taking Wolverine, taking away his claws, and then giving him laser vision.
Yeah, or taking away Tony Stark's Iron Man suit and giving him She-Hulk's costume.
Ooh.
Actually, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. Talking about a Hulkbuster. Number 2. Too much heart. So if your main complaint about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 is that there's just not enough emotion, if there's not enough...
Not enough emotion. Enough surfing.
Enough surfing,
enough
bruh.
hanging 10.
Right?
A little Zaw with the bros.
Surf ninjas. If there were not enough scenes like that in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, then you are in luck. Because in Volume 2, home run.
Yeah, every single character has this sort of soap opera moment where they have to break down and talk about how their past has haunted them and how it's not so easy to be a superhero in this rough and tumble galaxy, and everybody gets one. Rocket Raccoon gets one.
Yep.
Drax gets one, which, don't get me wrong, they're tragic characters in their own right, but in the context of this movie, it is an action comedy.
Yeah.
That has its place. And there are plenty of characters, like Kurt Russell's character, that could interject these things.
Yeah.
But when it's happening every other scene, it starts to get a little old.
I would say definitely in the last act of the movie, it gets real heavy. Real freaking heavy. And it's just too much. This is not the movie to do this in.
I think one of the reasons that this blindsides me is because the comedy takes such a front seat to everything. And that's what I was expecting going in. And that's what the first act prepared me for. And I didn't ask to see a drama. I didn't pay a ticket and expected to have my heartstrings pulled. I didn't want any of this. This was forced on me.
I know, Zach. I know. You can let this consume you, or you can continue the rest of the video.
Welcome to the Guardians of the freaking Galaxy.
Number 3. Drax. That's right. Number 3 is all about Drax and how he should just be completely removed from this movie. Not really. No, but we do have some complaints about Drax, because he's actually a completely different character, in my opinion, from the first movie. Which I also think is actually a very different character than from the comic book.
Yes.
But Drax is a huge comedic relief in this movie, and it actually kind of puzzles the mind a little bit because his main thing about his involvement should be is combat prowess. He is Drax the Destroyer. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. He is Drax the Destroyer.
Yeah, so I think he would be, like we were talking about this earlier, how he could at least be a good tank of absorbing damage, distracting, and beating the crap out of things.
Yeah, in the context of really both movies at this point, he exists to be durable enough to get knocked around by one of the other enemies so that you can tell, oh, if it wasn't Drax getting hit, somebody could get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just him being bashed over and over and over again with absolutely no repercussions because he's Drax, while everybody else does the business of the fight sequence.
Right. The Drax we see primarily in this movie, in Volume 2, is that he is a comedic relief, and he actually seems to be a Drax that's, compared to the first movie, has come out of his shell a little bit. He talks a lot more.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's just good character development, but they managed to take away even more of him as a threat.
Right.
He's an even smaller character in the context of a story which is a hero's journey, which is a lot of violence that he almost never contributes to. Now, honestly, when it comes to Dave Bautista, somebody who is used to being in the ring, professional wrestler, they could have done a lot more with him. I think they should just let Dave do what he's good at.
You mean this?
Oh.
I'm coming for you, Undertaker!
You're retired.
I'm coming for you, Triple H!
But before we get to number 3, it's time to do Johnny's world-famous promotions. Johnny!
Yay! Do you hate yourself for how much pizza you enjoy?
Yes.
Are you sitting there on your ass right now watching this?
Yes.
Do you want to get in shape?
Yes!
So go to campgladiator.com and find out where the closest camp is to you.
Also, real quick, we would like to drop the name of one of our favorite humane societies. That is the Acadiana Humane Society. And in addition to that, if you don't live in Acadiana, I would like to recommend to everybody, adopt, don't buy. There are lots of great animals out there looking for a home. And with that, number 4, The Ravager Funeral. So, spoilers ahead, but the end of the movie features the funeral of Yondu. Yondu dies in his fight with the terrible Ego, the living world. And early on, we establish, which is something that's not established in the first one, that he and his crew are dejected. They are no longer part of the core Ravager team. Sylvester Stallone's character mentions that there are 100 Ravager teams. And he's not with the core group anymore. He's blacklisted because of his involvement actually in a slave trade that involved minors. Pretty nefarious stuff. But Yondu gets an opportunity to vindicate himself.
Which almost always means martyrdom.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he dies while saving Peter, while saving the entire universe. He's adopted as one of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and in what they believe his final wishes would be, the Ravagers are a bit of a cult, and there's a specific way that their bodies are supposed to be dealt with after death.
Fireworks.
Yeah. Something, the drums of Nuck, 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 or something like that are supposed to play, and that's fireworks.
Well, also the magical fire.
Yeah, they send her through the magical fire tunnel, and it's a very touching moment. All of the characters that we really care about are there, and they're talking about how Yondu, while he was rough around the edges, was a great guy, at least in the end, and it works. It all really, really works. And then suddenly, Rocket is like, they showed up! And because Bradley Cooper sounds just like that in the movie. And there are 100 ships out there, and they're all Ravagers, and they're setting off fireworks because Yondu has vindicated himself. He is now a core member of the Ravagers again in death. And we start going to the bridge of these different ships, like in Star Trek.
Classic Star Trek shot of the Klingons or whoever else they're talking to.
And it's just like, group of extras that we haven't seen and don't care about. Group of extras that we haven't seen and don't care about. Ving Rhames!
Sylvester Stallone!
Yeah. It's all, well, Sylvester Stallone
You're
was
supposed to
fine.
care about him. I know.
Yeah,
He's the only one that actually kind of established beforehand. I think some of those extras showed up in that first shot, and then when they're in the Ravager bar. But who cares?
Maybe. But it's just we had to accept not only that Yondu was connected to all these people, they all knew him, they all cared about him in some respect, but we were also expected to feel the brevity of that with absolutely no setup.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt tacked on and rushed, and I was very confused by the whole thing. I mean, I'm right?
The facts check out.
Oh, hey.
We are with you, boys.
Oh, yeah. Thank you for saying that. I don't know how you got into the feed.
Shiny and chrome to me.
Yeah, what?
Brown alerts, and bring me my auxiliary trousers.
Who is that person?
Now that's what I'm talking about.
I think I recognize that one.
You've got this, guys.
Okay, we appreciate it. We do, but what is happening here?
Were you guys listening the whole time? We're filming it now.
Absolutely.
Yes, I'm glad that you agree that the scene shouldn't have been there.
Correct, sir.
Yes, thank you. We've established that, but
I mean, really, if you're going to hack the feed, I mean, you could, if you can do this, you could probably hack into my bank account. This just doesn't seem like any worth anybody's time.
also the viewers never really see you guys. I mean, I appreciate it, but
I agree.
okay, this is getting ridiculous.
Are we Ravagers now?
See, this is what I'm getting at. We appreciate your support, but nobody really knows why you're here. If you're going to hack the feed, do something constructive with it.
Fear got the best of you, and in your panic you turned to the now High Chancellor Adam Sutler.
No. Stop that.
No.
We like Britain the way it is.
Mm-hmm. Plus copyright.
That's our show, everybody. Thanks for watching Quite Contrary. We expect this to be sort of a shorter one, so we do want to say that we really did enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Overall, worth your time, for sure.
Now, some of you may have noticed, just like last time in our update video, we have the Mystery Box.
3,000.
The Mystery Box is something that, unfortunately for everybody who's watching, is just for patrons. So if you're curious about what's in the mystery box this week, don't forget to go to patreon.com/warlocks. Check it out, decide if you'd like to become a patron of us, and then you'll be able to see patron-exclusive content.
And actually, we'll give you a teaser in this one. You want to know what's in the mystery box? Cards Against Brumanity.
Cards Against Brumanity is the version of Cards Against Humanity that was made by us.
This project was actually spearheaded by Jason Edge of Blade Danforth, which is a great friend of ours. You may, if you've been following us for a while, you are probably familiar with him a little bit.
Sorry I'm late, Mr. President.
We'll be playing a couple of rounds of this as soon as we leave here over on Patreon, so come check us out. And as always, I would like to end the proceedings by eating fruit snacks in silence.